Yo guys, what is up? It's Teach here, coming at you again with another video, and we are over on Crystal Isles, and it is one of my favorite maps. And not only that, but I have 10 awesome PVE base locations for you right now. We're starting off in number 1. A couple of literal things that have to be done for it. You have to have a huge open space, you have to have good resources nearby, and there has to be something special about it to not just be some random location. I like having high points, you can have cool views and stuff like that. So without further ado, let's get into it. But before I do that, if you haven't considered hitting that like button, leaving a comment below, or subscribing to that channel, that would be so awesome of you, and I would appreciate it a ton. So let's go ahead and check out spot number 1. Now, first and foremost, this is one of the best spots on the game for PvE because it's a huge spot to have access to. Now you can see it right now. I'm showing you the actual chords and everything like that. 4030 is the approximate location that you're going to want to get to. Go and get a GPS so you can actually see all these exactly. But it's probably one of the best spots in the game, for PvE at least. And there's the exact chords for you, 39.9 and 33.5. Basically, it's this massive flat land like underneath me. You've seen I've already used this as some building territory when it comes to gachas and stuff like that. Because it is such a huge open space with tons of flat area, oh yeah, it's got a water well nearby too, so you don't need to worry about routing water to you. You've got all kinds of access to resources nearby, all kinds of fun stuff that you can easily use. So obviously there's lots of access to resources, and again, it's a high point, so I love using high points because it allows you to kind of have a cool view, and you're in the center of the map, so you have access to pretty much everything you could want. That's base spot number 1. So let's go ahead and check out base spot number 2. Now again, I tried to keep these base locations a little bit different, as in they need to have something special about them. So this one right here, again, let's go ahead and go upwards so you can see. It's on the edge of the snow biome. So if you're someone that likes to tame a lot of the woolly mammoths, the woolly rhinos, the dire wolves, be in that snow biome for Argentavis, snow owls, that kind of stuff, this is a good spot for you because it gives you access to the plains, and you're kind of in the center of the map still at 39.45. And there are 2 awesome flat points over here. You can see them right here. Tons of access to resources. This entire area is loaded with silica pearls that you can kind of hit up down these rivers. And these whole flat areas with the ability to build a nice little bridge between them is something that means it's a lot of use. There's a lot of use you can get out of this. Plus the water is nearby. If you really wanted to, you could go all the way down here, get some metal, do everything you need to. Lots of access to awesome resources nearby. And you're in the center of the map again, which is key for PvE because you want to be able to access all the different types of stuff in the game. So this is a great location to build, and it's number 2 on our list. So let's go ahead and go to number 3. Now I will tell you, there is no particular order to these that we're going to check out. I didn't necessarily rank them. I just have 10 different spots. It's not like I have a favorite. I do have a favorite, but it's not till number 8. So anyways, let's go ahead and show you this location right here. This is near the Blood Wyvern Trench, so you can, not trench, but just the area at 5735.6, and there you go on the map. Now, this area basically covers up the entire Blood Dragon area, or Blood Wyvern area. You can see it's a very large spot, tons of flat room over here. The entire area is covered in awesome resources. You've got obsidian, crystal, metal, stone, wood, thatch, everything you could need. Oh, and did I mention that you've got a blood crystal wyvern spawn nearby as well? You can see them right here, and they are very easy to access because all you got to do is just come over here, tame a couple of them, and you're good to go. The area is laden with resources. They're literally everywhere. And again, you're not quite in the middle of the map, but you're close to it, so you can access all the other biomes. The only thing that would be a little difficult would be the snow biome because it's a little far away, and the jungle biome as well. But very awesome location, tons of flat room to build a base upon, and a nice little spot to go to. So let's go and get on to the next spot. Now, the next spot, we're kind of moving around the different biomes because I didn't want to give you a whole bunch in one zone, so I wanted to give you some unique zones. Now, this is the starter location for most people. Tons of access to resources, lots of drops, mega echelons and stuff over here. But you can see it right here, bottom corner of the map, around 75:15 to 16. And basically here in, I don't remember if mega echelons, maybe it's in the mod version only. But right here, you can get a ton of access to any resource you want. And you've got this really awesome mountain concept with lots of flat areas, cool places to build. You can put up some cliff platties, some neat designs, use this archway as like an entrance to a really awesome base. The entire area is something that you can turn into a massive fortress. Now, there's also access to water nearby. There's access to the deep ocean nearby. There's access to tropical wyverns here, so they get the water effect on things. And you can see here's the chords that I'm at specifically at that 7221. But you can build in any region here, and it's an awesome spot. I like this one specifically because you have access to building in an area with deep underwater area as well, and then it kind of like goes up and you're like on a little pier almost. That's why I like this specific rock face so much, but you could build anywhere in this region, it would be completely acceptable. You've also got like a nice little underground zone down there. That's why I like this spot so much. So let's go ahead and move on to the next spot. Alright, and coming in at number 5 on our list, this is a desert location. You can see that where I am at is on a massive flat area. It's a cool little walk-up point right here, and you have a very large area. I like when you have these things that stick up like this because you can put some cliff platforms on them and make a neat base, like an actual base for your stuff, and then have all your dinos be down there in that region. Plus, you're in the edge of the desert biome, so you don't have to struggle as much. And that's why I like this spot, because the desert can be very unforgiving. However, this, because it's so close to Red Ob right there, and it's got access to all the other zones, it's on the edge, so you're not quite getting the full effect of being in the desert, but you're still kind of in the desert, so you can say you are. You got a drop that spawns right there, you got a water well right here, so you can build anything you want out of that, and you can get a whole bunch of access to anything that you need resource-wise, because the desert is laden with resources. Metal, stone, trees. I know that sounds weird, but the desert does have a ton of them for some reason. But they do have a lot of resources nearby. Plus, the location on the map is pretty central, so you can head over to the forest over there for like the jungle area. You can head up to the floating isles. You can go over the tropical zone. You're quite a ways away from the actual, danger zone up north, but still pretty awesome base location due to the fact that it's got a lot of flat space nearby. Let's go ahead and move on to the next spot. Alright, spot 6. 69.0, 72.6, and there it is on the map just so you can see me like spinning. This is a jungle zone map. This is the one island on this little area that has a massive flat area and the ability to build up nearby without having negative predators around you, like the Caprasuchus, Sarcosuchus, and anything dangerous down the lower side. You can see it right here. You've got a ton of flat land. You've got this tree right here that I like a lot, actually. I know it sounds weird, but I like this tree because you can build off of it and kind of use it as a neat little design. And you've got an upper layer and a third layer above that as well. So you've got plenty of room to build whatever style of base you want on this entire rock. And with this flat area down here, you can have a ton of room for whatever dinosaurs you want. Now, obviously, cryopods are your best friend here. Because you're going to have to build down to something to get up here or have a flyer to access them, so cryopods would be completely necessary. But it's got a really neat zone to kind of entice you to build more and build how you want to build. So that's why I like this spot so much, because it does have a ton of room. You are in an area that has, obviously, you can see me kind of like floating around a little bit here. You got a ton of access to different resources because this area has a ton as well. Not as much as the other ones, but it's got a cool area because it's kind of like the jungle. Now, if you don't like that one as much, there's also these rocks over here, which I do like a lot as well. Not quite as big, but they do house some pretty neat opportunities to build and kind of be in those zones. So that's kind of whatever you want to make out of it. So we're going to go in spot number 7. Now, spot number 7, not my favorite, but the reason that I don't like it isn't necessarily valid. I don't like the sound, because the floating islands, I don't know if you can hear that humming. I'm going to be totally quiet so you can kind of hear it. Sounds almost like the jet engine is going off. I hate that sound. So it really bothers me, so I don't like listening to it. You can see that there's some neat structure things here, but the floating rocks making that sound does bother me. However, if you're okay with that, there is a ridiculous amount of awesomeness to these islands. Not much resource, but you've got little water patches right here like this, plus you've got a huge flat area and a ton of neat space to go on this little region. Now, obviously, you got a tree that goes up to it, but you can do whatever you want with this up here because there's so much room and no predators really spawn up in this zone. So it's very nice to take over this entire island and kind of do what you wish with it. Very nice. Not my favorite. My favorite one is next, however. Number 8 is my favorite base location on this entire map. Now, reason being, it's great for PvP, it's great for PvE. It's a giant cave. Now, if you haven't built in this cave before, it is my favorite thing. They originally had rock drakes planned to be in this cave. Obviously, you can see them right here. They used to be all over the place. This was the rock drake cave, but it's got a ton of resources in this cave. So you've got, down here, you've got access to silica pearls. You can see them right next to me. You've got water. There's tons of metal in this cave, tons of wood, tons of trees. You got stone all over the place. Anything you could possibly want to have access to is in this cave. It's massive. There's only 3 entrances. You've got all kinds of like man-made structure in here. You've got all kinds of cool natural wildlife stuff. The views are super cool. I like all the colors that exist in here. It's just fun to be in. And you've got this cool little system on the backhand side like you see me going out. And it gives you access to the rest of this floating island area. Now, where is this spot? Pretty simple. 44.6, 75.1 is the entrance. One of the 3 entrances, actually. And this entire area is an awesome spot to be in. I love it. You can do whatever you want with it. Tons of room. Beautiful. There's nothing that spawns in here either. So you can literally just be in here forever safely, which is crazy to me. I think it's probably the best spot on any map, but that's my personal opinion. So without further ado, let's check out spot number 9. Now, spot number 9. I don't like this spot. I'm going to tell you that right now. I had to find a spot, though, because this is a spot that you can actually safely build in the snow biome. I hate the snow biome on almost every map because I don't like building it because I'm cold, and I don't like the cold in real life, so it makes me, I don't know, bothered or something. But this little mountain right here is probably my favorite spot of all of the snow biomes out of any map because you got actually access to flat land. For some reason, the snow biomes tend to avoid that. And you've got access to a charge node for batteries, which can be very useful. Just go ahead and show you it's a fully functioning charge node for element. And this guy right here is on top of a mountain right on the edge. You're not freezing, but you're just cold enough. And the ability to be near the snow biome means that you're going to have access to some of the other tames. Plus, there's this lake right nearby, and this lake has tons of access to some awesome stuff. Obviously, you can see you got the salmon here. Salmon can be fun for fishing trips of any kind. You can see you've got some funky, I don't know what that is actually. I think that's just a normal rock. You got all kinds of access to this back here. The entire lake is just a cool concept. I like the little biome that exists in it because you can see there's all kinds of funky stuff going on. It's just cool to be able to live near a lake. Now, I like to be able to use that flat land and kind of like have my water creatures in that lake, which is why I like that. But again, I don't like it that much over here in the snow biome, so you just want to find a flat land, and this is probably my favorite spot to go for that. Now, spot number 10 is another spot that I'm like, I'm mediocre about it. I don't like building in these zones, but if you have to, it's not a bad spot to be. So this is probably the best redwood spot on the entire map. Reason being is because you are on your own island. I have yet to see a thylacoleo out here, which is like my least favorite thing in Ark. I'm sure you know why. Because they jump out of the sky and just, they're awful. 17.5 at 16.6 on this area, and there's, you can see it, the only negative that I can think about this spot is that you're off away from everything. Literally everything. I want to let you think about that. Because being away from literally everything means that you are going to have to kind of deal with the shenanigans of having to go a long ways to get things, but being close to water, having trees nearby, and trees that you can use, like this tree right here, you can put a cliff or a tree platform on, means that you're going to have some really, really neat designs in a PvE style game So this could be a really awesome location for you. Plus, if you're more of a water person, you've got access to the deep water channels out here, which gives you access to a ton of resources. I'll kind of like go down to the bottom of this just so you can see. Yeah, pretty cool down in this area. Lots of stuff down here. There's a mosasaurus right there. But you can have a pretty neat zone because you just drop off straight into the water. But I like this flat area right here to be able to build on if you like the redwood zone. You got tons of access to anything you would need nearby. Negative being you have to go a long ways to get the other stuff. So anyways, hopefully this little tutorial helps you out with finding some awesome PvE based locations over on Crystal Isles. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like and a comment below and consider subbing to the channel because I got some other content that will hopefully help you out as well. So anyways, hopefully this helps you. Teach out.